flip, but Omar makes a very good point. Nothing should be excluded at this stage, Seamus. The fact that I am not familiar with IALA, that is my own lack of knowledge of all things IALA. On the other hand, my participation in the ENAP committee was more to bring the perspective, perhaps outside of IALA, to bring it in. For instance, Jan-Erik mentioned IHO. Over the past 20, 25 years, I've had lots of experience with IHO. What Jan-Henrik Altman showed for the desire to incorporate, for instance, what they have done with their new S100 model, or S100 standard, and how this will be incorporated into the Uniform Maritime Data Model. It's a wonderful goal, just like world peace, but how it's ever going to be achieved, I will be amazed if it's actually possible. And it's not, again, the question of one organization not having a good idea or another organization being rigid, but it's human nature to say, we know who we are and what we do, and therefore you'll have to adjust to us rather than we adjust to you. So those will be the challenges.
Thank you, Lee. I don't think Jan-Henrik wants to respond to that. No. So, Jan Leek.
Yes, it's a wonderful goal, yes. I participated at COMSAR February, and there was great support for the paper proposed by Ukraine that ECDIS have to be used as a layover. There will have to be information on the ECDIS in the future, and if we want to incorporate ECDIS, we have to have a dialogue also with IHO. I know it will be a long road, probably difficult, but I support it. I think it's a good idea.
Thank you. Other question, right over there.
Yes, thank you. It is to Victor Concesao. It is regarding this maritime safety information and this database. I think it's a wonderful idea, and I think it's a lot of administration, in fact, struggling with that problem. So could it maybe be possible to get a copy of that database in order to see how you did it? Because we are struggling with that issue at the moment. So, thank you.
Is Victor... Yes.
I understand your concerns, and when we develop the model, we try to look what is already approved and look ahead, try to predict what should be the connections to other approved databases. I mean, for sure, X100 and ECDIS systems and ashore systems that are already working, and not only what they are working, what we are predicting they will be working. So the structure and the raw data is kept to minimum and leave to a second level the development of service based on that information that could respond to the requirements of different users. So I may be available to you to deliver the concept that we developed.
Thank you. You have a question yourself, please.
Concerning the worldwide radio navigation plan, is it possible to consider we are speaking about the integration of systems for positioning, timing, but we can also develop a positioning service based on data links results from all the systems that could produce a backup from any failure from one system. Is it possible? Is it predicted or not?
I think that one was for you, Peter. Did you?
I'm not quite sure what you actually mean in terms of using data links.
For instance, old shore base as a picture, maritime picture, that supports by several sensors, AES, different kind of sources. We can turn it back to ships, giving them their position.
Yes, the Worldwide Radio Navigation Plan incorporates that concept, not so much with AIS, because if AIS is functioning on the ship, it would suggest that the ship already has position information. But the idea of relaying the radar picture from shoreside, from the VTS centre, back to the ship, or the information from that in data link format to give the ship an additional situational awareness image, that has been considered, yes.
More questions? Yes, please.
Thank you. This question I would like to pass to our previous speaker, Captain Neil Trainer. I did mention to him just during the tea break that with respect to the e-navigation in Haypoint and with respect to the training being exchanged between shore and pilot and shore, what is the role of the master's responsibility with respect to e-navigation when piloting the vessel by the pilot, and if the responsibilities, will the pilot take over the responsibilities, because the master will probably be at a loss because the beacons are not there, and the savings quite a lot with respect to that. So just want to know what is the responsibility of the master while navigating with the pilot on board.
Thank you. Neil, can you answer that?
Yeah, thank you for that one. You raise a very good point. And I'm afraid it's a question I've got to take on notice. As I mentioned at the beginning of that presentation, that was presented on behalf of John Elliott, the Harbour Master at Haypoint. Your point's quite valid, because I've seen it in operation, and that relationship built up there is purely between the BTSO and the pilot. And the system was designed specifically between the pilot and the BTSO. So it's okay, I'll take it on notice and get back to you.
Thank you. I think,
yeah, Clive Davidson. Neil, I noticed in your presentation that there was no mention of the relationship between the pilot and the master, and yet I think most expectations would be that one of the key interactions would in fact be that the pilot and the master would have interaction about what was going to happen to the ship and how the master would remain in command.
I think you're right. I think when the pilot actually boards the vessel, those two always have their normal communications about how the pilot's going to, take the ship out. Again, I was presenting this paper on behalf of John Elliott, so the detailed inner workings of that, I'm happy to get back to you.
Clive?
Just a supplementary observation. Two pilots get on the vessel when it departs at Haypoint. One who's going to take it out of the harbour, and the other one who's going to take it out through the hydrographer's passage, if that's its exit line. They actually do it all now.
No, one pilot will take the vessel from the berth out beyond the port limits. The compulsory pilotage there begins further out for the reef side of things. You think by hydrographer's passage? Yeah.
Does anyone else want to join in this Australian discussion? Okay, more questions? See none. Okay, well, I'd like to start by thanking all the speakers from the previous session and this session for their excellent presentations, and thank the audience for their comments and questions. And I have a couple of announcements to make. Firstly is, please return your translation headsets after the session. They're missing quite a few already. And the other announcement is to remind you about the buses to the football leaving at 18:30 from the normal place outside the conference centre. And with that, I'd like to thank you all and close the session for today.